Michael McCary was right all along about the dark side of Boyz Two Men. After years of silence, McCary finally exposed the truth about Boyz Two Men, uncovering a twisted tale of exploitation and betrayal. Join us as we uncover the truth behind their story. The very start. Formation of Boyz Two Men. The tale of Boyz Two Men started with a burst of rebelliousness among the corridors of CAPA, Philadelphia's high school for the creative and performing arts. Recognized for his courageous demeanor, Nathan Morris was the type of student who could not help but showcase his vocal abilities. During a class one day, he began singing, which irritated his teacher, leading her to tell him to stop. Instead of retreating, Nathan raised the volume. In an unexpected turn of events, Mark Nelson, a prankster student, decided to participate, forming a spontaneous duet. The boys were sent to the hallway for their classroom mischief, but this act of defiance was just the beginning of something greater. Their friendship grew strong, and before long, Nathan and Mark found out they both loved R&B music and singing in harmony. They made the choice to create a group, starting by joining forces with the main singer of the school choir to discover their musical talents. This initial iteration of the team was brief and disbanded after finishing school, yet Nathan and Mark were determined to continue pursuing their dream. They had faith in the power of unity and were committed to creating something enduring. Their quest for additional members brought them back to CAPA, where they discovered new talent. During a choir performance, Nathan and Mark were enthralled by a student named Sean Stockman. His voice was silky and full of emotion, encompassing all the qualities they had desired for the team. Sean was promptly asked to join, and he eagerly accepted the chance to make music together. Nathan and Mark were surprised when they heard a deep, resonant bass voice echoing in the school bathroom. It was owned by Michael McCary, whose unique voice shined brightly like a rare jewel. At first, there were uncertainties regarding how Michael's style would mesh with the group's evolving sound, but those worries soon diminished. Upon his arrival, the group felt whole. Michael's deep voice became the core element that would quickly establish their distinctive sound. Once Nathan, Mark, Sean, and Michael had finalized their lineup, they started practicing tirelessly, perfecting their vocal blends in corridors, classrooms, and every available area. Motivated by their love for music, they chose the name Boyz Two Men as a nod to the New Edition track that symbolized their journey from youth to adulthood. Despite Mark Nelson departing the group before their big break, the trio of Nathan, Sean, and Michael, who later welcomed Wanya Morris, continued to produce timeless harmonies in R&B history after laying a strong foundation. Despite their perfect union, the road to success wasn't as easy as they thought. It was filled with countless attempts to get the attention of celebrities, countless failures, and reasons to give up. But did they? Keep watching. Struggle for recognition. Boyz Two Men's journey to fame was far from easy. Despite their undeniable talent, the group experienced challenges in their early days, particularly when Michael McCary joined. His coming caused conflict among the existing members, as some doubted if his low baritone voice would blend well with their harmonies. However, even with a challenging beginning, they all had the common goal of achieving success in the music business. During that time, achieving success felt like an unattainable goal. The team dedicated numerous hours practicing in classrooms, stairwells, and bathrooms at their high school, but chances were limited. Their determination fueled them, and they were not willing to allow initial obstacles to veer them off course. They had faith in their music, but persuading others to pay attention proved to be a challenge. Their breakthrough moment occurred when they made a daring move at a concert hosted by a nearby radio station, aiming to mingle with important figures in the industry. Nathan Morris had a casual relationship with Charlie Mack, the personal bodyguard of Will Smith, and the team took a chance by sneaking backstage. Nevertheless, instead of encountering Will Smith, they came across Michael Bivins, a member of New Edition and a promising figure in the music industry. Without hesitation, Boyz Two Men took advantage of the sudden opportunity. They started singing a cappella immediately, blending their voices perfectly. The soulful performance caught Bivens' attention, mesmerizing not only him, but also all those nearby. The raw talent and undeniable chemistry of the group were clearly visible in that moment, demonstrating that they possessed a unique quality. However, even though he admired them, Bivens wasn't initially sure if the group had the necessary skills to make it in the competitive music business. He departed without giving any promises, leaving the group thrilled by the unexpected meeting, but disheartened that their dreams of fame seemed distant. Nathan Morris did not quit. He inundated Bivens with continuous phone calls, determined not to miss the chance. Nathan's perseverance eventually led to success. Impressed by the group's persistence and eagerness, Bivens decided to become their manager. The tough bond with Bivens signaled the start of Boyz Two Men's path to stardom. It demonstrated their determination, highlighting the importance of not only talent, but also persistence and the bravery to capitalize on all opportunities. This significant development marked the start, setting the stage for them to ascend and eventually become one of the most legendary R&B groups ever. Despite their struggles, they prevailed. Their success was massive, but it wasn't without its challenges. Breakthrough and challenges. In 1991, Boyz Two Men began their official career under the direction of Michael Bivens when they put out the album Cooley High Harmony. This record, mainly produced by the talented and youthful Dallas Austin, marked a pivotal moment in the band's career, propelling them to sudden fame. The album connected with listeners on a profound level with its smooth harmonies, mix of contemporary R&B, new jack swing, and soulful ballads, including popular songs such as Motown Philly and It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. Cooley High Harmony sold more than 7 million copies and secured the group their initial Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals. Motown Philly was a lively acknowledgement of their origins and goals, showcasing their journey from Philadelphia's high school corridors to the grand stage. At the same time, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday highlighted their emotional complexity, emerging as a powerful symbol of grief and longing. Boyz Two Men's unique style, blending catchy beats with heartfelt ballads, distinguished them from other R&B artists during that era. Even though they quickly gained success, conflicts lingered out of sight. Dallas Austin, who played a key role in developing the sound of their first album, started to feel disconnected from the band. In a later interview with DJ Vlad, Austin mentioned that the group's attitude shifted as they experienced rapid success. He stated that Boyz Two Men started to think they were better than other artists, even the ones who first supported them. Austin candidly stated that their egos were the main factor for him only providing one track for their subsequent projects, explaining that he refused to continue working with the group due to finding them more challenging to collaborate with. He went as far as calling them major a-holes. The allegations did not go over well with Boyz Two Men, particularly Nathan Morris. After Austin's comments went viral, Nathan angrily retaliated on Twitter, venting his annoyance and rage. He rejected the claims of arrogance and blamed Austin for twisting the facts. Despite causing some controversy, these disputes did not prevent the group from achieving new levels of success. Boyz Two Men's second album, Two, which came out in 1994, established them as one of the top R&B bands worldwide. Having several hit singles, the album achieved great commercial success, selling more than 12 million copies in the United States alone. The song, On Bended Knee, became a key track for the band, topping the Billboard Hot 100 and demonstrating their talent for conveying vulnerability in their music. The flawless vocal interplay within the group, anchored by Michael McCary's deep baritone, mesmerized audiences across the globe. After the success of their second album, Boyz Two Men went on extensive tours, showcasing their performances all around the United States and in other countries. Their performances earned a reputation for their powerful emotions and perfect vocal blends, frequently captivating spectators. As they performed on stage, The group's commitment to their art was evident, earning them a reputation for their professionalism and dedication. Despite facing fame-related pressures and occasional internal disagreements, they consistently delivered lively performances each night. In 1995, Boyz Two Men reached a significant achievement by teaming up with McCary for the song One Sweet Day. The heartfelt ballad about loss and reconciliation turned into a cultural phenomenon. It remained at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for an impressive 16 weeks, a record that lasted for more than 20 years. The achievement of One Sweet Day cemented Boyz Two Men's status as not just R&B legends, but also as popular pop sensations. Nevertheless, as they achieved new levels of success, the group encountered ongoing difficulties off stage. Occasional discrepancies in creativity and tensions among members posed a threat to their unity, yet they were able to remain concentrated on their music. In 1997, their third album, Evolution, was released, demonstrating their development as artists. Songs such as 4 Seasons of Loneliness and A Song for Mama quickly became timeless favorites, solidifying their position in the music world. 4 Seasons of Loneliness was a chart-topping hit when it was first released, and A Song for Mama became a heartfelt anthem for mothers around the world, striking a chord with listeners. In the Evolution era, Boyz Two Men went on a challenging global tour. The group's dedication to delivering memorable performances remained strong, despite the physical and emotional strain of constant travel and performing. Their shows were more than just shows. They were occasions where fans frequently sang along to every lyric. The strong emotional bond between Boyz Two Men and their fans was clearly evident and became a key aspect of their success. Despite some public controversies, like their dispute with Dallas Austin, Boyz Two Men demonstrated that their talent and dedication were more powerful than any obstacles they faced, both within and outside the group. Their capacity to progress musically and uphold their unique sound enabled them to remain current in a constantly changing industry. By the end of the 1990s, Boyz Two Men had firmly solidified their status as one of the most influential R&B groups of their era. While at the peak of their success, the group was hit with a very big challenge. McCary, the key to their signature sound, announced his departure. This was a big challenge for the group because at this point, it felt like their career had ended. Keep watching to find out what happened next. McCary's unexpected departure. In 2003, Boyz Two Men
actually left the group probably about 11, 12 years ago now. I don't think our friendship is as strong as it used to be.
If I had to sum up what I got from my brothers in Boyz Two Men, I would have to say betrayal.
Fans were shocked when McCary, the group's favorite bass singer, suddenly departed from the band. Like most well-known separations, gossip about internal conflicts and clashes of egos quickly circulated. Fans had long suspected that disagreements among staff members were the reason for the separation. The team refused to provide any information, leading to more rumors of internal conflict. It was not until 2016 that the real reason behind McCary's leaving was revealed when he shared his story on Iyanla. Fix My Life. During the show, McCary disclosed that his departure was not because of personal conflicts, but rather a health issue that had interfered with his performance. He revealed that he had received a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, MS, a long-lasting condition that impacts the central nervous system. At first, he disregarded his deteriorating back spasms as scoliosis, thinking they were just caused by poor posture. Nevertheless, following medical consultation, he was given a dire diagnosis. The spasms indicated the onset of MS, a disease with potential for paralysis and other serious issues. The diagnosis hit McCary hard, impacting him physically and emotionally. Being the bass singer of the group, his deep voice was a crucial element of Boyz Two Men's distinctive sound. Yet, the expectations of relentless touring and shows caused great stress on his well-being, leading him to make a difficult choice that pained him deeply. Confronted by the possibility of paralysis and growing physical restrictions, McCary came to the realization that he could no longer adhere to the demanding schedule of the group. Feeling sad, he walked away from the community he had contributed to, leaving supporters and colleagues to deal with his departure. Having McCary leave was not only a sentimental loss for Boyz Two Men, but it also posed a difficulty for their music. His unique low voice was the basis for a lot of their harmonies, so the team had to adapt fast. Nathan Morris, Wanya Morris, and Sean Stockman chose to move forward as a trio, committed to maintaining the legacy of Boyz Two Men. Even though there were different members in the group, their dedication to excellence never wavered. In 2004, the newly established group launched Throwback, Volume 1, an album that honored timeless soul and R&B songs. It featured versions of famous tracks like Let It Whip by the Dazz Band and Sarah Smile by Hall & Oates. Despite not reaching the same level of commercial success as their previous work, the album proved that Boyz Two Men were still a formidable presence. Their harmonies stayed solid, demonstrating that the group's SoundCloud matured without McCary's deep baritone. The trio kept putting out new music, figuring out how to adjust to the difficulties of collaborating without their bass singer. In 2007, they came out with Motown, A Journey Through Hitsville, USA, a set of Motown covers, honoring the music that had been a major influence on them from the start. The album featured covers of iconic songs, such as Just My Imagination by The Temptations and The Tracks of My Tears by Smokey Robinson. The project was highly praised, and their performance of Amazed was even nominated for a Grammy Award. Even with McCary not present, Boyz Two Men kept up a demanding tour schedule. The trio had to adapt emotionally to performing without him, but they discovered fresh ways to engage with audiences. Their concerts became more personal, as Nathan, Wanya, and Sean frequently interacted directly with their audience. They incorporated storytelling into their performances by sharing anecdotes from their extensive career and reflecting on the songs that influenced their journey. These instances of vulnerability enabled fans to form a deeper connection with them and admire the emotional strength needed to continue. The group put out Love in 2009, a record that delved into romantic concepts with a mix of cover songs and original compositions. The album showcased their vocal versatility with tracks such as I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt and Open Arms by Journey. Even though McCary's bass was missing, Nathan's baritone helped to fill the void, and the group's harmonies stayed just as strong. In the years that followed, Boyz Two Men placed a strong emphasis on live shows, recognizing that their ability to connect with audiences was a major advantage. They went on various tours in the US and around the world, maintaining their reputation for soulful performances that had brought them fame. Despite the lineup changes, fans still valued that the essence and soul of Boyz Two Men remained intact. The three also had many prominent TV appearances, appearing at award ceremonies and talk shows. They established themselves as regular performers in Las Vegas, earning a long-term engagement at the Mirage Hotel and Casino, where they entertained devoted followers with their top songs. The residency marked a significant achievement, enabling them to honor their heritage and connect with fresh audiences. In 2011, Boyz Two Men dropped 20, a 2-disc album celebrating the band's 2 decades in the music industry. The project included both fresh material and updated renditions of their classic hits, providing fans with a new perspective on familiar songs. Songs such as More Than You'll Ever Know and One Up for Love demonstrated the development and maturation of the group, both artistically and personally. Even with the difficulties they encountered, Boyz Two Men stayed dedicated to their art, showing they were more than just a throwback group, but talented musicians, capable of creating impactful songs. In 2014, the band dropped Collide, an album that propelled them into uncharted musical territory, blending pop and rock elements. Songs such as Better Half and Losing Sleep showed how they were open to trying out new sounds, but still remaining authentic to their original style. Despite receiving varying reviews, the album showcased their continual commitment to growing as artists. Although Michael's exit was painful, the group still moved on. However, it is important to go through this breakup without a reason. The rift between McCary and the other members.
He ended up doing it. I did Thank You. I did some vibing with them. And even by the time we got through with Thank You, I was like ready to shoot everybody.
But of course,
following Michael McCary's exit from Boyz Two Men in 2003, his relationship with the other members of the group slowly declined. Although the group initially showed backing for him, the actuality of his departure was much more intricate. One of the most unexpected things about the fallout was McCary's choice to hide his diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, MS, from everyone, including his wife Venus. This hidden information had a significant impact on both his personal life and his bond with the band, resulting in confusion, emotional detachment, and in the end, a serious divide. McCary's fear and shame motivated him to conceal his illness. During interviews, he later admitted that he struggled to discuss his diagnosis, especially since he had centered his life on physical activity and stage presence. He desired not to seem vulnerable or overload his bandmates with his health issues. Nevertheless, his lack of communication further widened the gap between him and the group, since they remained unaware of the true cause for his absence from performances and rehearsals. After he left, McCary fell into a state of depression, experiencing feelings of loneliness and rejection. He acknowledged that he had difficulty accepting the truth of his condition, which hindered his capacity to engage in the activities he used to enjoy. The cane he previously used in the cover photo for "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday" now served as a vital aspect of his everyday routine, embodying the significant changes that had occurred. The rest of the group initially made an effort to meet McCary's needs during his last few months with them. They provided him with a chair for performances in the hopes that this minor change would keep him engaged. As time passed, they started to sense a decline in his motivation. In their eyes, McCary appeared detached, both in terms of physical presence and emotional connection, leading them to believe he was not fully dedicated to the group's achievements. During post-departure interviews, Nathan Morris, Wanya Morris, and Sean Stockman revealed that they had made every effort to ensure things were successful with McCary. Nonetheless, they believed that his decision to seclude himself was impacting the group's effectiveness. The demanding tour schedule required energy and concentration, and there was no room for slowing down. As McCary became more and more absent and refused to talk about his challenges, the rest of the group had to make a tough choice. They carried on despite his absence, but not without emotional consequences. The three also voiced annoyance at how McCary departed. They described how he had slowly become less involved in group activities, to the extent that they were unsure of how to contact him. During a 2014 interview on HuffPost Live, Nathan Morris expressed that they made every effort possible to ensure he remained part of the group. However, at a certain moment, it seemed like he no longer had the desire to stay. This comment showed the confusion and pain that remained between the two groups, as the three individuals were finding it difficult to grasp McCary's unexpected decision to opt out of their joint goal. Despite the tense relationship, the rest of the group made it clear that they never held any grudges against McCary. In their HuffPost Live interview, they disclosed that they continued to pay him royalties and other earnings, despite his lack of communication with them. They clarified that this gesture was their method of recognizing his contributions to the group's achievements. They made it clear that McCary would always have a spot in the group if he decided to come back, wanting to keep the possibility of reconciliation open. Nevertheless, McCary did not perceive their actions in a similar manner. During his time on Iyanla, Fix My Life in 2016, he shared his emotions of feeling abandoned and betrayed, detailing the isolation he experienced while dealing with his health issues. He acknowledged that he wished he had shared his diagnosis sooner, but once he was ready to open up, it was too late. He believed the group had progressed without him, abandoning him during a critical moment in his life? The differing views on McCary's leaving underscore the emotional intricacies of their bond. It was a difficult yet essential choice for the trio to carry on without him in order to secure the group's future. For McCary, their choice to leave seemed like a rejection on a personal level, adding to the emotional burden of his sickness. The lack of understanding caused a lasting strain between them, hindering reconciliation despite both parties wanting to mend the relationship. Throughout the years, the remaining Boyz Two Men members have consistently expressed their concern for McCary and have stated their willingness to welcome him back if he decides to return. Nevertheless, the chance of a reunion is still unclear. McCary's well-being remains a priority, and the trio has found a successful new dynamic. In subsequent interviews, McCary suggested that he was willing to reunite with the group, but he also recognized that it would take time for the emotional scars of their separation to mend. The Boyz Two Men members have shared similar feelings, acknowledging that it would take time and empathy from both sides to rekindle their friendship. After going the allot, McCary decided to try his luck on reconciliation. Did this work out? Let's find out. Attempts at reconciliation. In 2012, Boyz Two Men achieved a major feat by being recognized with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Michael McCary felt a range of mixed emotions during this particular moment. Even though he had isolated himself from the group, he viewed the ceremony as a potential opportunity for making amends. McCary briefly thought about reuniting with the band, believing that public recognition could symbolize a new start and potentially mend their strained relationships. Nevertheless, Nathan Morris, Wanya Morris, and Sean Stockman were hesitant. After handling McCary's previous departure, they hoped that if he came back, it would be a more permanent decision. Consequently, they demanded that McCary sign a contract detailing the conditions of his return, which included a provision to prohibit him from exiting the group without prior consent again. This agreement sparked previous tensions. McCary, thinking the contract showed a lack of trust, phoned the group to voice his frustration. Nathan and the others dismissed his complaints, refusing to engage in any more arguments, and eventually ending the conversation by hanging up on him. To them, the contract provided protection, but to McCary, it served as a painful cue that his past injuries were still unresolved. Following his exit from the group, McCary made an effort to establish a new life beyond the music business. Attempting to secure stability and autonomy, he and Venus, his wife, established a soul food eatery named Majestic Ribs. At first, the venture appeared to be a hopeful chance for McCary, providing him with a new beginning. Nevertheless, operating a restaurant turned out to be harder than anticipated. Majestic Ribs had difficulty in maintaining a consistent customer base, leading to financial difficulties. As the restaurant struggled, McCary was also dealt a blow as his personal life started to fall apart. His health issues, along with the tension of managing a struggling business, caused significant strain on his relationship. McCary and Venus were in a relationship for 14 years, bringing up 3 children while they were together. However, their relationship suffered from the challenges they encountered. Over time, their communication worsened and McCary's struggles became too heavy to handle emotionally. In a challenging twist, Venus initiated divorce proceedings, causing McCary to be both separated from his spouse and alienated from his kids. The emotional weight McCary bore was compounded by the consequences of his unsuccessful business and failed marriage. McCary, now separated from his family and former bandmates, was struggling in a challenging situation, dealing with feelings of regret and loneliness. During interviews, he later confessed that he regretted how things turned out with Boyz Two Men. Yet, his pride and lingering emotions frequently stopped him from reaching out once more. The rest of Boyz Two Men also shared conflicting emotions regarding the idea of getting back together. They repeated that the group's door was still open for McCary, as long as he could prove he was truly dedicated to repairing their relationship. To them, the contract they suggested in 2012 was more than just a business agreement. It was a means of safeguarding themselves against the emotional upheaval of yet Another unexpected exit. However, their short-lived effort to reconcile only widened the gap between them even further. Throughout the years, fans held on to the hope of a reunion, confident that time could mend the rift between McCary and the band. Both parties appeared to desire resolution, yet both were unsure how to overcome the emotional divide. Feeling upset from what he interpreted as rejection, McCary withdrew even more into himself, as the rest of the trio dedicated themselves to preserving their legacy as Boyz Two Men without him. And finally, what we have all been waiting for happened. What happened at last? What prompted it to happen? Keep watching to get the complete story. A reunion on the horizon. On August 30, 2024, Boyz Two Men fans were pleasantly surprised with something they had been longing for more than 20 years. During a special performance in Las Vegas, Michael McCary joined his ex-band members on stage in a surprising and emotional moment that resonated throughout the music industry. McCary's performance with the group after 21 years felt nostalgic and monumental, marking a significant moment in their history. The audience cheered loudly as McCary hugged Sean Stockman, suggesting that time may have eased the conflicts that previously caused a rift between them. This surprising meeting reignited optimism for fans who had been following the band from the beginning. Standing next to Nathan Morris, Wanya Morris, and Stockman, McCary's presence conveyed the significance of the moment. A reunion going beyond music, representing the potential for forgiveness and healing. In the midst of the clapping and shout of approval, Stockman paused to speak to the audience. He sincerely admitted the rumors about McCary's departure that had been circulating for a long time, clarifying that they decided to move on from the past. Stockman told the audience that there isn't enough time in life to hold on to grudges. All of us have matured, all of us have transformed, and this evening is dedicated to love, not past injuries. His words provided a feeling of closure, ensuring fans that the conflicts that had previously troubled the group were no longer causing any division among them. The bandmates saw the reunion as a much-needed opportunity to re-establish their connections. Although they had been performing together as a trio for many years and had created a lasting legacy, McCary's absence had always been a void in the group's history. The distinctive sound of Boyz Two Men was defined by his rich baritone voice, and his return to the stage brought a feeling of wholeness. Despite being a significant moment in terms of emotions, there are doubts about McCary's potential return to the group. There have been no official statements from the band, and McCary has not revealed any details about his future with Boyz Two Men. Yet, the speculation of a potential permanent reunion was ignited by his appearance on stage. Professionals in the industry believe that logistical hurdles, such as tour dates, health issues, and contract discussions, must be addressed before McCary can successfully rejoin the group. However, the gathering in Las Vegas demonstrated that both parties are interested in moving towards reconciliation. The reunion was more than just a comeback to the limelight for McCary. It presented a chance to mend past hurts with his ex-bandmates and his inner self. His battles with multiple sclerosis and the emotional consequences of his departure had a significant impact on him throughout the years. The hug on stage between Stockman and the positive welcome from the crowd appeared to give McCary a feeling of belonging that had been absent for years. Fans of Boyz Two Men also viewed the reunion as a moment of rejuvenation. For years, there was a desire for the original lineup to be reunited, as many felt the group's narrative was not whole without McCary. Social media was abuzz with messages of happiness and encouragement as fans posted videos from the concert, showing their enthusiasm for the potential of additional shows featuring the entire group. Though the future is still unknown, the reunion suggested promising opportunities. After prolonged periods apart, other legendary bands in the music industry have reunited, raising hopes among fans that Boyz Two Men will do the same. A tour with the original lineup would definitely attract big audiences, giving longtime fans a nostalgic trip down memory lane and exposing younger crowds to the band's classic sound. So what do you think about Michael McCary's revelation on the dark side of Boyz Two Men? Let us know in the comments. If you want more interesting revelations, be sure to like, subscribe, and watch the next video shown on your screen. See you there.